Welcome back to our series on Leading with Impact. I'm your host, Samantha Brighton. Today, I'm joined by accomplished author of over 100 titles, public speaker, and co-founder of the Orlando Magic, Pat Williams. Over Pat's diverse career, he has faced many challenges, not only professionally, but personally as well, as a father of 19 and a cancer survivor. Thank you so much for joining us today, Pat.
Samantha, thank you. I'm looking forward to our visit here.
One thing that you've talked about in previous public speaking engagements is how to engage and manage diverse and big egos when it comes to building teams. Can you share more insight on that for us?
Well, I guess the topic is humility, Samantha. I am drawn to people with a humble spirit. And let's face it, when people have success in any field, sports or politics or business, entertainment, it's very, very easy to start believing that you hung the moon, and any sense of humility goes right out the window. But I have found that the people I am most drawn to are those people who have had great success, but yet when you encounter them, you would not know that. There's a humility that's built into their soul. And so I think what we're saying is, it's not about me, it's always about you. I think that's the good philosophy to have. It's not about me, it's always about you. And if you go through life with that attitude, I think this issue of humility is going to be taken care of. And nobody modeled humility in greater fashion than Jesus himself. There's the ultimate model, by the way. If we want to study humility, study it in the person of Jesus.
So in terms of building diverse teams with many personality types, what advice do you have for other leaders?
Well, Samantha, let's just talk about team, if we may. I've been in professional sports now for 60 years, and so I've been involved in this process of putting teams together my whole adult life, and I've learned that there are certain qualities that must be there if you're going to build a successful team in any field of endeavor. And the first quality, they have outstanding talent. However, that talent must have three, I call them caveats. Number one, is that talent coachable and teachable? Talented people, they must have a teachable heart. Secondly, is that talent understand its role? Do they accept the role? So when you hire a talented person in advance, they must understand what their role is and what's expected of them. Not everybody can be the ace quarterback. There's got to be a backup quarterback, and there's got to be a third string quarterback if the team's going to be successful. And then thirdly, great talent must learn to be a great teammate. In fact, the players that I have most admired over the years were not necessarily the greatest performers. They were always concerned about the team. They were always concerned about the other players on the team. Am I making my teammates better? Am I helping them live to their full potential? That's the mindset of a team-oriented talent. And then the second thing I want to share is that there's never been a great team that didn't have outstanding leadership. Whether it's a political team or a sports team or a church team, it ultimately depends on the effectiveness of your leadership, not just at the top level, but all the way down the ranks. And in any organization, it's important for people to understand that everybody's a leader in some capacity. Those are two observations I would make about putting teams together, Samantha.
Honestly, that is such phenomenal advice. And it really ties into what you said in your first answer. It's part of having that humility. And I think that just proves that you've walked that walk and lived that out over your career, because it's how you answer every question and how they all tie together. So I think that's really phenomenal advice.
Samantha, I think it basically comes down to a serving heart mentality. And the greatest leaders that I have studied possess that quality. And here's the mindset of a serving hearted person. It's not about me, it's always about you. It's not about my success, but it's about your success and the success of this organization that I'm helping to lead. It's a good lesson for all of us.
It really is.
And if we go through our life understanding that our job is to be of service to others, it makes a huge difference in how well we do as leaders.
So in this world of COVID, working in a virtual world, how do you feel the advice for building teams and leadership in a virtual environment changes?
Well, Samantha, I think we better get used to it. Because this virus has brought about a lot of change. Not all of it will last, but some of it will. I think we're all learning to a large degree that we can work very well from home. So once we get through this, and we will, it's going to be very, very interesting how many there long-lasting impacts there are. Well, it's unprecedented. The world has never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And so we just have to look upon the world, 7 billion of us, we're all teammates now. And to beat this tremendous war that we're in, and it is a war, we've got to pull together as a team. And if we do that, we will prevail. We will be victorious.
Absolutely. So you have talked about your long tenured career of 60 years. And so what advice or what kept you motivated as a leader and as an individual in a leadership role?
Samantha, I have been in leadership positions really since I was a kid, in sports. But in the last, probably 20 years, I have really studied leadership in depth. And I've studied the world's greatest leaders. I was curious to find out, are there common traits? Are there common talents or gifts that all the great leaders possess? And after doing this, I've come away convinced that yes, there are common traits. In fact, there are 7 of them that every great leader has possessed in some form or another. And I'm going to present it to you in verse form. A good friend named Swen Nader, a longtime NBA player, is also a poet, and he put this together for me that I think summarizes what it takes to be a leader of excellence. 7 things one must do to be a leader right and true. Have vision that is strong and clear. Communicate so they can hear. Have people skills based in love and character that's far above. The competence to solve and teach. And boldness that has fearless reach. A serving heart that stands close by to help, assist, and edify. So there in about 60 seconds are the 7 qualities that it takes to be a leader of excellence. Vision, communication, people skills, character, competence, boldness, and a serving heart. What do you think, Samantha?
It gave me goosebumps. I love it. I need to take that verse down and copy it and make it in an artistic vision board thing because it gave me chills and I love it. My final question to you is, what advice do you have for those who want to have career longevity? You've given us lists of traits and steps. And so do you have the same for how to have a long, prosperous career?
Here's my philosophy on that. When your greatest talent intersects with your greatest passion, you have found the sweet spot in your life. And that is where you want to get your education. That's where you want to get your jobs. That's where you want to work. And the earlier in life you can figure that out, the better. I think that's how I would respond to you, Samantha.
Thank you so much for your time and your insight. I love it. I'm going to definitely copy down your poem. It's fantastic. So thank you so much for joining us today, Pat.
Good to be with you, Samantha. All the best to all of your viewers, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you. For everyone watching today, I have a question for you. Where does your passion and your talent intersect? And are you making use of that opportunity? Please comment below. I want to hear your answers and your thoughts. If you liked today's video, please follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified about everything Leader Impact. Thanks so much for joining us, and see you next time.